Hello and welcome to Wednesday, the day of Weds. Um, it's pretty late right now, and there's a good reason for that. It's because I kind of burned my finger. Now, this is a whole story in itself, so let's start there. Um, After the whole certification thing was going through my mind, I'm like, what small project can I do with a spare Raspberry Pi that I have just laying around? And mess around with that. Like, what could I do just for to have some fun and to, learn a bit more? So I started messing around with that, looking things up what to do, and then I remembered I had an Arduino. And an Arduino is a basically a small hobbyist board. I have one here. This is a third-party Leonardo board. Um, Basically, it has a few kilobytes of memory, and you can plug whatever you want into it, like a bunch of little potentiometers and things like that, so you can make like tangible things that are useful, like something to control lights, detect like changes in lighting, um, weather even, and like moisture. You can detect fire. What I was doing was I looked up a guide on how to do a temperature sensor. This is not where you think it's gonna go. Looked up a guide on how to do that, and it seems simple enough. It's just take an Arduino, plug in the temperature sensor, and just use wires to connect the two. So like something like this. And then I have a little display here for when I get to it, so that I would be able to get the temperature, like actually see what it is. So I'm like, cool. All the guides are like, yeah, just plug it directly in. It supports it. Like it's rated for 5 volts, and it should be fine. So I did, and then I was wondering, why did I smell plastic burning? So I'm not so sure if you could see it, but right below where this little black black box is in the center, you could see there's like 3 holes that are slightly larger and more brightly colored. Well, I kind of melted the plastic. This temperature sensor is rated for negative 15 or 50 degrees Celsius up to 150 degrees Celsius. So when I plugged it in, it got to 300, I think, or maybe 150. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. So it just started melting the plastic, and I wondered why I was smelling melting plastic. So I looked down, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. So my first instinct, the wrong one, was to grab it, and that's how I burned my finger. Uh, yeah. Every time I mess with Arduino, something blows up. Before, I blew up one of the components. This time, I guess I blew up another one of the components. I'm not so sure if it works anymore. It might not. I don't want to test it, even though I'm going to probably. But yeah, that was an experience. I don't think I'm gonna mess with Arduino in the future. I spent quite a bit of money on some parts years ago, and trying to learn it. There's a reason I'm not an electrical engineer. Uh, as soon as I started learning electrical engineering stuff, I hated it, and yeah, resistance and things like that. It was not my jam. Like by myself, I can learn it fine, but doing it like this, it was interesting. And like, you know how you only have like one of these parts on hand at a time, like, so if something goes wrong, you're like, well, now we need to buy another. It's a whole thing. You gotta wait a few days, and at that point, it's not worth it. Or at least you lose the interest pretty quickly. So yeah, that's how my night went. I'll look up some other fun projects to do. I don't like this one. Seemed basic enough, but apparently not my wheelhouse. It might have been that I had some program running on it before I loaded the new software, and it just started automatically running that. I don't think so. I have no idea what would be on it, and even if something was on it, it should not do that. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Gonna have to learn from my mistakes and see what we can do about that. Alright, hopefully I can find a new pseudo project that's more my speed. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna call it for today. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have less entries in store, but who knows. So yeah, that's where I'm calling it for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow, and until then, later.